have to be a little OCD about my equipment because if it fails one more time, I might show up bald next year. All right, so welcome to basics. Whew. So I'm Jody, namaste. Let's begin on our backs for our breath work. So lay all the way down. Any props, maybe some support beneath the knees or a pillow for the head, whatever your body would like. We'll allow the eyes to gently close if they haven't already. Taking a deep cleansing breath, inhale through the nose, exhale out the mouth, release. Beautiful, one more deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, release, let it go. Body becomes heavy into the earth as you give yourselves permission to arrive at your practice. Letting go of your day so far, letting go of anything left on the schedule for your weekend. Just allowing yourselves to arrive at this present moment. Begin to mentally scan over the physical body, moving from head to toe and reciting to yourselves along the way all the points of contact that your body makes with the earth or maybe a prop. This activity helps us to practice our proprioception, our body awareness. The more specific you get with those contact points, the more detailed the image of self in your mind's eye becomes. Now, no rush. If you're still working on getting to know back body, continue at your own pace. But make sure that you also check in with front body as well as mental, emotional body. Front body helps to complete the image of physical self in your mind's eye. Checking in with mental, emotional body gives you a heads up on if anything has followed you here to your mat. If anything has, see if you can detach from it. Set it off to the side. Now, as we begin to let go of any distractions in our room, distractions beyond this space or in your personal private worlds, we'll instead turn the awareness inward, finding a focus on the breath. Allowing the breath to be our anchor. What does that mean? Our breath can be the point of awareness and presence. Throughout our practice, whether it's during our pranayama, our breath work, or our asana, mind will continue to send us thoughts and ideas. We practice not getting attached to these distractions, although sometimes it may happen. We'll go down some rabbit holes, start thinking about something completely different, letting go of our awareness of being on the mat. So anytime that happens, let go of whatever distracted you, bring your awareness back to the breath. With your next inhale, begin to encourage the breath to deepen and lengthen. Sending the inhales all the way down into the belly. Allowing the belly to fill and expand on the inhale, with every exhale actively drawing the navel in towards the spine. So on the inhales, belly fills. Exhale, navel draws in. Continue continue to practice your belly breath, helping to reduce stress and anxiety in the body. How? Just by breathing, how are we reducing stress and anxiety? It all comes down to the nervous system. When we breathe into the belly, we speak directly to the nervous system, telling the body we are safe and calm. This then shifts the nervous system into rest and digest, letting go of that stress response, fight or flight. The body is able to move into rest and digest and soften and release. Guess what? Muscles and connective tissues do the same thing. You ever find yourself battling tension in the body, tightness, stiffness? Circle back around to breath. Notice and observe what breath is doing, deepen and lengthen to help support range of motion. Now after your next exhale, allow the breath to return to its natural pace and rhythm. Check back in. Notice if there's been any subtle shift or change to breath, body, or mind. And know that if you don't observe any change or shift, that's okay. We'll start to bring our awareness back into the room and back into the physical body. Inviting subtle movements, wiggling fingers and toes, circling out wrists and ankles, reaching the arms up overhead, finding a full body stretch from fingertips to toe tips. And then mindfully drawing the knees in towards the chest, making your way over onto your favorite side, fetal position, eyes closed. Pausing here to allow your body to fully awaken and reacclimate. I invite you to take advantage of this moment and set an intention for your practice. If you are unsure about an intention, maybe there's a positive affirmation, some points of gratitude, whatever serves you. As you feel ready, using the strength of the upper body, you'll press yourselves up, coming to meet in Sukhasana, easy seats. Welcome, friends. Heads up, I got a little tension in my neck, so if I oddly look your way at all, it's not you, or if I don't look your way as often, it's not you, it's me. Because this direction I can look all over. Like, just a little restricted. Welcome all. Okay, I'm gonna ask again, who's new to yoga? Beautiful, wonderful, welcome. Have no fear. I started teaching gentle and basics for beginners. I love bringing yoga to people. So let's talk about what it's like to practice yoga. In a yoga practice, should be no pain in the body. Yes, you might come close to, what's a good word, discomfort? That's a good word. Sensation. But if your body starts giving you pain, those are red flags. Your body is saying to you, you shouldn't be doing this, please stop doing this. So you stop. Yeah, yes, nod our heads, acknowledge. Because it's not about feeling like you have to do everything that I offer. I'm offering you suggestions. You can either pick them up and accept them, or say, oh, I'm gonna pass and wait for a different offering and find something that my body does feel excited to try. Yeah? So skip anything you need to skip. You can bring yourself into any comfortable resting shape that your body likes at any time. So let's say we start doing something and you immediately go, oh, that's not what I'm here for. Okay, I'm going to move my body into something that it does like. I'll stay with my breath. And when she offers something that sounds exciting, I'll join back in. Yes, wonderful. This is how we make it our own. All right. And if you guys have questions along the way, feel free to pipe up. I might like try to find who's talking. It's me over here, it's my voice. Help me out. But yeah, we can talk, we can discuss things. We're here to learn and grow in our practice. So sitting up nice and tall. Welcome to easy seat, Sukhasana. Now easy seat, as much as it wants to make you think that this is simple, is more complex than just sitting here on the floor. We are actively grounding through our sits bones, the bony prominences at the base of the pelvis. Now our glutes cover these bony prominences, and glutes are a pretty big muscle group. So if you're unsure if you're feeling those sits bones, move your flesh out of the way.
Feel that.
Yeah, you gotta move your flesh because it's a big flesh group. I'm not saying y'all have big booties unless you want me to, and I'll tell you that every day. But it's just about making that connection, doing what you need to do to feel the connection with your own body. Now, as your sits bones ground down, what is grounding? Pressing into the floor. Why am I using my hands? Because we'll get to the hands at some point. It's another way to ground. Hands ground, feet ground, sits bones ground, they press. Now the floor doesn't go anywhere. I mean, I could try with all my might, the floor isn't moving. What happens? Floor doesn't move, what is moving?
Your ass.
Yes, my body's moving. So as I'm pressing down through my sits bones, maybe you don't see it as much as this movement, but as I'm pressing down, I'm growing taller. The only other way is up. But with all that upward growth, check in with shoulders. Let the shoulders relax down. Crown of the head grows tall. Core engages. Draw the navel in towards the spine. We're not talking suck the belly in flat. We're saying turn the muscles on. Become aware of the muscles holding you upright. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Now pause the body with the arms up overhead. Keep the breath moving. Check in with shoulders. Shoulders down the back ribs. Beautiful. We're reaching long through the fingers here. With your next exhale, release the arms back down. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Shoulders down the back ribs. Exhale, arms release back down. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale, arms reach up, lengthen through the fingers. Exhale, release the arms back down. Beautiful. Now right hand stays grounding to the earth. Inhale, left arm reaches up and over to the right. So right hand grounding, pressing the floor away. Reach long through the left fingers. Feel the left side body lengthen, open up. You're not feeling it yet, just keep practicing. Sometimes it takes us some time learning to feel self. With your next inhale, come back through center. Both arms reach up overhead. Exhale, twisting to the right towards the windows for a majority of us. So right hand comes to the mat behind your hips. Left hand comes to right knee or thigh. The right hand behind you, grounding, again, pressing the floor away. What is that helping to do? For you to sit up tall. The left hand to right knee is helping to guide the torso in the twist. Not force or crank. We're not trying to leverage ourselves. Oh, I can get myself 3 inches further. No, no, no. Just going to where your body wants to be. With your next inhale, come back through center. Both arms reach up overhead. On the exhale, left hand grounds to the earth. Right fingers reach up and over to the left. Beautiful. Chest stays open. Right shoulder draws back to help broaden the front body. Reach long through the fingers. Become aware of the side waist opening up. Breathe into those spaces. With your next inhale, come back up through center. Both arms reach up overhead. On the exhale, twisting to the left. Beautiful. We're going to have a fun journey together because we face the same direction, but we're moving differently. You got this. Sit up nice and tall. Check in with shoulders. If the shoulders feel like they've hiked up, can you melt the shoulder blades down the back ribs? With your next inhale, come back through center. Both arms reach up overhead. On the exhale, cactusing the arms. Elbows drop back and down. Hug those shoulder blades. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale to cactus, elbows back and down. This is opening front body. One more. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale to cactus. Beautiful. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. On the exhale, release the arms all the way down. Let's roll out the shoulders. Inhale to draw the shoulders forward and up. Exhale, release them back and down. Inhale to lift the shoulders. Exhale to lower. Can you synchronize movement with breath? With your next inhale, switch the direction of the rotation. So there is a rule of thumb, sprinkled in salt. What does that mean? It doesn't happen 100% of the time. Okay. Inhaling to lift the body, exhaling to return the body. We did the same thing with the arms. With your next inhale, shrug the shoulders up close to the ears. Exhale, release, soften. One more. Inhale, tension, tightness. Exhale, let it go. Beautiful. Let's make our way to tabletop or all fours. You can roll directly over the knees. If knees are sensitive, I invite you to sweep both feet off to one side. And I'm sorry you get my butt today. All right. So, remember how I mentioned we'd make it to where hands are foundation? Bada bing, bada boom, here we are. Yes, I understand knees and some feet, leg are on the mat, but it's all about the hands here, my yogis. Fingers spread nice and wide. We are balancing on hands and knees, but we've been here before in our lives. We learned to crawl. We played on the floor as kids. Maybe you do that now. Maybe you have children of your own. Maybe you're just a kid at heart and you don't like to sit in chairs. You're always on the floor. Beautiful, wonderful. I think that's great. But now we're going to do so more mindfully. So spread the fingers wide. Really use the fingertips, the knuckles, and the heels of the palm. I'll show you again. Fingertips, knuckles, and heels of the palm. We are gripping the mat and pressing the mat away. Lots of action through the hands and arms. Move up the arm. So hand is the foundation, so what's working above that? Biceps, upper arms spin out. Think about the inner crease of the elbow shining up towards the top of your mat, or elbows tucking in. This helps the shoulders to draw away from the ears. It'll also keep the elbows tucked in by the torso should we ever bend into the arms. Engage the core, navel draws in towards spine. This helps to support and protect low back. Lengthen through the crown of the head, neck nice and long. Inhale, cow pose. Drop the belly, lift the tail and the heart. Exhale for cat. Press the mat away, round the spine, tuck the chin. Inhale for cow, shine that part through. Exhale for cat like a scared Halloween cat. Take a few more rounds, move with the pace of your breath. What's happening here? We are warming up the length of the spine. Flexion and extension of the spine to lubricate. The spine is a column of muscles called vertebrae. It's a whole bunch of joints. So getting all those spaces lubricated and prepared for movement and our practice. Now after your next exhale or cat pose, coming back to a neutral tabletop. Taking a big step back with the right foot, we'll press back into the right heel, getting some lengthening and sensation through the back of that right leg. The more you engage the thigh and lift the knee, the more intense. Yogis, just because I offer you a more intense version doesn't mean we're trying to max ourselves out. We're a room full of different level students. So I give you options so that you can make this practice yours. Find some dynamic movement here. Inhale, press forward, coming up onto those right toes. Exhale, press back into the heel. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale, press back. Hands continue to press the mat away. Rock it out a couple more times with your breath. Bring the weight of the shoulders back over the wrists. With your next inhale, right heel lifts to hip height. Looking back over the shoulders, see how close you got. How's your proprioception coming? Remember, fancy word for body awareness. Being able to know where your body is in space and time without looking. But we look while we practice. Now, option here, to extend the left arm out in front of you, palm in, thumb up, finding our bird dog balance. How can we modify this? Well, maybe right toes want to return to the mat, or maybe that arm doesn't want to reach out right now. For 3, 2, 1. Exhale, replace the hand, replace the knee. Other side, big step back with the left foot. Pressing back into the left heel. Find your level of engagement. Dynamic movement. Inhale to rock forward. Exhale to press back. Our gaze, our drishti, is down at the mat, the space between the thumbs, keeping the back of the neck nice and long. Bring the weight of the shoulders back over the wrists. Inhale to lift that back heel to hip height. Active through the foot, pressing through the heel, toes flex back. Maybe looking back over that left shoulder, see how close you got. Keep pressing the floor away through fingertips. Engage the core, right arm extending out in front of you, palm in, thumb up, bird dog balance. Find your breath as you reach long through right fingers, press through the left heel. For 3, 2, 1. Exhale, replace the hand, replace the knee. Child's pose, knees open wide, big toes come to touch. We sit the hips back towards the heels and then start to hinge the body forward. The intention to allow eyebrow center or forehead to release into the earth. Now, if earth is ever too far away from the body, we bring in props to lift the earth up closer. So if forehead doesn't want to ground here, maybe a block or a fist to fill in the space. And child's pose is one of those resting poses that is always available to you. Now, some people don't find full comfort and release in child's pose. So if this isn't your resting pose, any other resting pose will work if you need to take a break. Take a deep breath in through the nose, audible exhale out the mouth. Beautiful. With your next inhale, pressing back up through tabletop. We'll tuck the toes under and begin to sit the hips back towards the heels. We stop when we've maxed ourselves out. Remember that sensation of pain? We're not looking to find that. Maybe hands stay on the earth. Maybe in your practice you have space to come all the way up. Listen to your body. Practice listening to the sensation. Feeling your feels. Can you the shoulders, unclench the jaw. With your next inhale, gently ease out, coming back through tabletop. We'll tap out the feet. Sitting hips to heels one more time, this time keeping toes untucked. So with the toes tucked, very intense through the soles of the feet, the arches of the feet. I'm sure we relate to that. We felt the things. Releasing feet to the top of the mat and sitting back gets that stretching through the tops of the feet, fronts of the ankles. If you're looking for more, you can lean back, lifting the knees. This is that option to intensify if you are needing. When do we know if we're ready to intensify? When the shape we make in our body gives us little to no sensation. Like, oh, I've been doing this and progressing and I have space in my body now. Oh, I need to do this now to feel it. And even if you need to do this to feel it, and if for some reason you go, I don't like it, it's okay to be in a shape that you don't have strong sensation. With your next inhale, coming back through tabletop, we'll tuck the toes under, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Hands are still the foundation. Press through pinkies, well yes. Press through fingertips, knuckles, and the heels of the palms. Pop your booty, lift that tailbone sky high. Yes, I saw you all adjust and pop your booty. I saw the few of you. Take a deep breath in, exhale, sigh, let it go. One more deep breath in, keep pressing through the fingertips, exhale, let it out. With your next exhale, release to the knees, tabletop. Beautiful. Any questions? Anything we've done so far or about downward facing dog? I think it's rude for me to have you have your hips lifted and me ask you questions. Beautiful.
When you do it,
Yeah.
are you supposed to be trying to make like a line with the top of your body, or like?
Yeah, let's talk about it. So, downward facing dog is an inverted V shape. Since we're doing a little bit of chat, you guys can get your body where you're comfortable. Yeah. If you're not a fan of sits hanging out in tabletop, you can even like come chill wherever you want to be. So, downward facing dog, an inverted V shape. I put it here, I can do this. Inverted V shape. Like a mountain. I'm a very visual person. Yeah? This peak up here, tailbone. Yeah? So question was, is body long? And I'm assuming you're thinking from fingers to tail.
Yeah, we do like I don't know.
Beautiful.
My shoulders
So-
are weird.
Yeah, let's talk about it. This is wonderful. So, from our tabletop, which is where we started, shoulders were drawing down the back ribs away from ears. For my friends on this side. Okay? We tuck the toes, and I'll do this both directions. We tuck the toes, try to watch my shoulders. We tuck the toes, we lift the hips up. I use my hands to press the hips back. I keep lifting the tailbone. Notice my legs aren't straight. My arms are. Shoulders away from ears. You're probably getting a really nice view. So I've got space for my neck. I'm actively drawing the shoulders away from the ears, reaching my chest through towards the tops of my legs. And you guys will see my shoulders. I'll let you see, don't worry. So tabletop, toes tucked, lift the hips up, use the hands, press the hips back. Move the hair out of the way. Watch my shoulders. Shoulders away from the ears. They broaden on the back body. How does that happen? Watch my elbows. See my elbows sticking out? Elbows tuck in. Shoulders broaden. So as the elbows spin in, the shoulder blades on my back are widening. Since you didn't get to see. Tabletop. Hips up. Press them back. Shoulders. So I can shoulders up by my ears. Shoulders broaden and away. Questions, comments, concerns?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So I love stuff like this. So now, let's come back to tabletop. Any other questions? Because we're gonna move into downward facing dog. Yeah.
How do you know how far your hands and your legs should be for your hands and your feet?
I've been waiting for this one. How? Ratios. Vague answer. From tabletop. If wrists are stacked under shoulders and knees are stacked under hips and we tuck the toes, should be no need to adjust. There might be. Sometimes people think, oh, my heels have to touch, but they're so tight they round and they walk the feet up to keep the roundness in the back but to lower the heels. I'd rather see tail lifting, long back body.
Can you have your arms too far out front?
Can you? Yes. When things start, I don't know if I can do it in my body, because I don't have the eyes out there to look at me, but you tell me. Is my head in alignment with the biceps? No. Too far. I don't like it. My legs start to shake. It's just not. Ears in alignment with the biceps. Tailbone lifting. It's a whole body feel. Beautiful. We didn't even know we were breaking down down dog, and here we are. That's what I love about basics classes. You don't know what you need until it shows up. Sometimes I plan for things. Usually plan for things, and then I read the room. Sometimes my plans go out the window because other things take priority, which is totally fine. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Again, it's a lot easier to talk about this stuff when you're not upside down. All right, tabletop. Tuck the toes. Lift the hips up. Use the hands to press the hips towards the back of your mat. Knees can be bent. Let the head drop between the bicep. The chest, the heart reaching towards the thighs. Yes. For 3, 2, 1. Release to the knees, tabletop. How was that?
Good.
Good. Bill, how was that? It looked good. I looked at all of you. I was ready to get up and make adjustments and correct form. You guys are really listening to your bodies. All right. Downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts, 3-legged dog. Only as high as hip lets you. We're not opening that hip up to the right. Keep the hips level. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot returns to the mat. Inhale, left leg lifts, 3-legged dog. Hips are level. Pressing through hands. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, return to the knees, tabletop. Big step back with the right foot. Inhale to lift that back heel to hip height. You can always look back and see how close you got. One day, you might look back there and it's exactly where you thought it was going to be. That's not to say that the next time you try and you look back, you've got the leg up or it's out to the side. Every practice is a new practice. Now exhale, crunch, knee to nose. Press the mat away as you hug the thigh in towards the chest. Inhale, right leg long. Exhale, crunch, knee to nose. Round the upper back. Inhale, right leg long. Step it through. Exhale, knee to nose. You can grab a hold of that right foot. Step it to the top of your mat. Low runner's lunge. Maybe blocks come in beneath the hands to lift the floor up closer to you. Don't worry. I have props. Props are a good thing to hoard. Anyone else that doesn't have blocks might want them. Okay. All right, so what's forward? The right leg? Now you'll get nice and confused. You're okay though. Anyone want to take a guess at where the foundation is? I'll give you a hint. When we were in easy seat, it was our sits bones, our pelvis. In tabletop, it was the hands. Now it's your foot, more specifically, right foot. Grounding into the mat. If you were to press that right foot any harder, whoopshing, that's how active. It's very easy to come here, deactivate the leg, and just use the arms to hold you, which is what I'm doing right now. If I remove my arms, I'm gone. Can you engage the leg, press the foot into the floor where you can move the hands? They're just there so you don't fall over side to side like kickstands. Now let's talk about the shape now that we're active in it. Stacking the joints of right leg, right ankle under right knee. Why are we concerned about this? When we stack the joints, it keeps them safe and protected. The knee can be a sensitive, finicky thing, at least for me. Left hip is in extension, no flexion. Extension for sure, 100%. Put money on that pen. Flexion would be the knee coming in towards the nose. This side, flexion. So that left hip reaching up towards the top of the mat. Hello, hip flexor. If it's too much of a stretch, right foot shifts back, knee over ankle. Left hip pulls forward, takes the edge off. Now with your next inhale, half splits, don't panic. Inhale, start to walk yourselves back. If you've got blocks, bring them with you. Stack the pelvis over the left knee. Right foot flexes, reach the toes up and back. Beautiful. With your next inhale, bring it back to the top of the mat. Release the pelvis, let the pelvis get heavy. Hello, hip flexor. Breathe. Remember, those deep breaths help soften the body. With your next inhale, half splits, walk it back. Lift the right toes up and towards you. There can be a slight bend in that right knee. What are we mindful of? Flexion of the foot, right hip reaching back behind us. Inhale, bring it back up, top of the mat. Help that right leg back into tabletop. Find some movement here. Cat, cow, wag the hips, organic movement, just moving however you think is the best for your body. Coming back to tabletop. Big step back with the left foot. Inhale to lift that back heel to hip height. Check, see how close you got. If you look back and your heel was nowhere near hip height, don't beat yourself up. Take it as a, oh, okay, so I wasn't quite there yet. Now I get the foot where I want it, and I'll look again and I'll feel it in my body. Maybe next time I'll get a little closer. Now on your next exhale, crunch that left knee in. Press the mat away. Make room for that leg. Inhale, left leg long. Active through the foot. Exhale, crunch, knee to nose. Round the upper back. Inhale, left leg long. Okay, we're gonna step it through. Exhale, crunch. You can grab a hold of that left leg. Bring it to the top of the mat. Low runner's lunge. Any props to support your body, maybe a blanket beneath that back knee, some blocks beneath the hands. Ground through the left foot. Test yourself. See if you can just start to press yourselves back and up. That's the engagement. Inhale, half split. Start to walk yourselves back. Pelvis stacks over the knee. Why? So we are not fatiguing left thigh. You might feel some feels, but if hips go way back, you start to really work the top of the thigh. Your leg's gonna get exhausted. Flex through the left foot and ankle. So flexed and active foot, maybe a bent knee, rather than straight leg, dead fish foot.
Dead fish.
Because that's ego. Ego might come in and go, oh, but her leg's longer, their leg is longer. She said it should be, I didn't say your leg should be straight. Your foot should be flexed. Inhale, walk it back up, top of the mat. Grounding through the left foot, release the pelvis, lift the heart. Hello, hip flexor, now it's on the right side. Let's take it one more time. Inhale, walk it back. Left toes lift up and back. Left hip reaching back behind you. There's a lot of backward momentum. So what's moving forward? Heart, crown of head. Inhale, bring it back up, top of the mat. Release the pelvis, lift the heart. Help that left leg back into tabletop. If that means you grab a hold of it and you put it back there, beautiful. Find some movement. Get your wiggles out. Coming back to tabletop. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Feel the shoulders on the back body. Draw away from the ears and spread wide, broaden. It's like your shoulder blades want to melt off to the right and left sides of your rib cage. Keep looking at the feet. Start to bend into the knees as you walk the hands back. We'll meet in forward fold at the back of our mat, allowing the head and neck to hang. Beautiful. Maybe some gentle shakes of the head, yes and no. We'll bring our hands to our hips. Inhale, stand tall, press all the way up. Exhale, release the arms, Tadasana, mountain pose. Now in mountain pose, feet are hip bone distance apart. Can they be a little bit wider? Absolutely. If that's where your security and comfort is, then that's where you're at. Why are we mindful that the feet are at hip distance and we're not talking external flesh? Skeletal anatomy, the same thing with our, as I point down. Remember when we were in low runners lunge? Stacking the joints of that front leg to protect the knee. Stacking the joints gives the body support. Feet are evenly grounding. Now your feet have corners. Big toe mounds, inner heels, pinky toe mounds, and outer heels. The same concept as grounding through fingertips, knuckles, and heels of the palms when we were hands as foundation. Same thing works for feet. Grounding through the corners of the feet. Arches begin to lift. Thighs begin to lift. Core engages. Shoulders always soften away from the ears, unless you're in handstand. Crown of the head grows tall. Now I invite you to close your eyes here in mountain pose. If closing the eyes is not a safe thing for you, you can soften the gaze, look down at the cheeks or the floor. Reducing the external visual is to help you turn inward, check in with self, more specifically. How's your breath? How does the body feel? And then what's going on in the mental, emotional space? If you're telling yourself a story, and that story seems to be negative, why am I going this direction? Because it's very easy for us to be negative to self. If that's something you're resonating with, what was the intention? Feed yourself some love and light. We'll gently blink the eyes to open, and then come to the long edge of our long edge of our mat. Let's face the blank wall. My two sides will face in towards the room. So wide leg stance. Beautiful. Feet are parallel. And feet are as wide as you feel comfortable, but there's an intention. Most of the time, asana, poses and postures have an intention. Sometimes we get to there, and sometimes we're on our way there. The intention of the width of the feet as wide as the wrists. If we were to hang strings, they would touch the ankles. Does that mean we go, oh shoot, I'm not there yet, start heel-toeing the feet wider? No, I want you to be at a width that you feel safe. In your mind's eye, you picture your feet as wide as wrists. Yeah? Nice and confusing? Beautiful. All right, right toes pivot to the short edge of your mat. Bend into the right knee, stacking the knee over the ankle. Press to the outer edge of the knee to keep the knee stacked over that ankle. Hip is opening. Chest still open for a majority of the room towards this wall. For my friends here, your chest is open towards all the students. Arms out at shoulder height, shoulders release down. Turn and look over the right fingertips, warrior two. Active through the arms, try to touch opposite ends of the room. Active through the feet, ground, hug the muscle to the bone. Inhale, reverse your warrior, front arm reaches up and back.